appears that both the Democratic establishment and MAGA are melting down over the shock win of Zohran Mamdani in the New York City mayoral primary that happened on Tuesday. CNBC reports that Wall Street is feeling alarmed. Oh, they're alarmed and depressed over his victory. Because it might mean having taxes get raised on the richest Americans. Can't have that.
Oh, no.
Exactly.
Can't let that happen.
So now Philip Lafont, founder of the hedge fund Coates Management, told CNBC that a Mamdani win could trigger an exodus of wealthy investors to other states. Oh my goodness, no, they're running away.
Oh, no.
Oh, how sad. Whereas hedge funder and Trump supporter Bill Ackman said he woke up on Wednesday on his pile of money, I'm assuming, a little bit depressed by Mamdani's victory, which makes me think of there was that actor that had Woody Harrelson sitting on that pile of money, wiping his eyes with dollar bills. Oh, I'm so sad. Which, by the way, I like Woody Harrelson. So, but it's a reference to that movie. I forget which one. But anyway, we also have former DNC Treasury Secretary Larry Summers over on X writing this, quote, "I am profoundly alarmed about the future of the DNC and the country. By yesterday's NYC anointment, he won an election, okay, of a candidate who failed to disavow a globalize the intifada slogan and advocated Trotskyite economic policy. Hey, Larry, cry more, bitch." Imagine saying that the party, okay, which is currently sitting at a 27% approval rating, all right, should not embrace change at all. Young, progressive change. That's what this is, okay? To keep doing what it's doing instead of supporting young, progressive populists like Mamdani, okay? That's what Larry Summers is doing. I am very, very concerned that we're actually going to change and help people. Oh my God, how dare we?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm using that a lot today, but you know what? That's their response. Catherine Wild, president of the Partnership for New York City, told CNBC, quote, you're going to love this, "Terror is the feeling." Terror. Yes, terror. Okay, at the idea of the wealthy being taxed a little bit more to ensure that people, that average citizens can ride public transportation for free, that rising rents will be frozen, okay, so that people can maybe actually afford to live in New York City for once. Oh my goodness. Apparently, though, working people being able to actually afford to live in the city, that inspires terror in the elites. Terror. That said, none of these responses are as unhinged as what's coming out of MAGA. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those were tame, okay? Oh, terror, okay? I'm going to start with Chief Taco. Okay, Chief Taco, who took to his platform, let me bring it up.
Truth, essential.
To write this, in what I assume was a spittle-filled rage in a room with perhaps ketchup on the walls, give or take, I don't know. But he said this, quote, "It's finally happened. The Democrats have crossed the line." Really? Well, that's all it took. Zohran Mamdani, a 100% communist lunatic,
Pink-haired communist,
has just won the Dem primary and is on his way to becoming mayor. We've had radical lefties before, but this is getting a little ridiculous. He looks terrible. Really? Terrible? His voice is grating. He's not very smart. He's got AOC +3. Ooh, +3 what? I'm looking at stats here. AOC +3. No, I know what he means. Dummies all backing him, and even our great Palestinian senator, crying Chuck Schumer, is groveling over him. Yes, this is a big moment in the history of our country. Well, hey, you know what? He's right about that last part. It is a big moment because it shows how people power can come together and defeat big name recognition from a political dynasty, the Cuomos, and as well as millions of dollars in super PAC money, and of course, rank Islamophobia. Because that's what was arrayed against him and what continues to be arrayed against him because he's not mayor yet. Now, it also, by the way, shows you that the left and liberals, like Brad Lander, for example, can come together and they can ally. They could be good allies against a corrupt establishment. Remember, Lander and Mamdani, they cross-endorsed each other. And I think that made a pretty big impact in this race. And of course, it also shows the advantages of having a ranked choice primary, ranked choice voting. I mean, everything was perfect and fell into place for this. And I love it. Now, Trump's not done. Oh, no. He then offered his own new idea. Oh, you're going to love this. He said, after years of being left out in the cold, including suffering one of the greatest losses in history, the 2024 presidential election, again, that is true, the Democrats should nominate low IQ candidate Jasmine Crockett for president, and AOC +3 should be respectively vice president, and 3 high-level cabinet members of the cabinet. And to add it together with our future communist mayor of New York City,
Pink-haired communist.
Zohran Mamdani, our country is really screwed. Total meltdown. Okay, I absolutely love it. It's so beautifully unhinged. Okay. Obviously, Trump's racism is clearly on display here, referring to Jasmine Crockett, a black woman, as low IQ. And of course, Mamdani also calling him not very smart. Yeah, racism on display. But you know what, though? His idea is actually not a bad one. Crockett or AOC would probably clean Donald Trump's clock. Okay? Oof. I'd love to see it. If only the Democratic Party were that brave to put one of them up against him. An actual progressive. But anyway, that said, the rest of MAGA had their own idea on how to deal with Mamdani should he become the next mayor of New York City, and perhaps even before then. One of those ideas is to what? Deport him. Because of course. Of course. In fact, the New York Young Republican Club wrote on X, formerly Twitter, saying this: a call to action from the NYYRC, the radical Zohran Mamdani cannot be allowed to destroy our beloved city of New York. Okay. No, but they said the Communist Control Act lets President Trump revoke Mamdani's citizenship and promptly deport him. The time for action is now. Stephen Miller and Thomas Homan, New York is counting on you. Oh my God. That right there, I mean, they are so afraid that they are shitting themselves with fear. And say, oh, well, we have to get rid of him. We have to get rid of him. Well, we have to destroy democracy. We have to make sure that nobody gets a chance to vote for him because they'll vote for him. And oh my God, we got to get rid of him. Deport him now. Communism. They're scared. They're so scared. Okay. This is how people who are afraid act. Okay. If they weren't afraid of him, then I mean, they wouldn't be saying these things. They wouldn't be floating these unhinged ideas like literally stripping him of citizenship and deporting him. Okay? They cannot handle a democratic socialist winning a primary election, much less a mayoral election of one of the largest cities in the country. So, of course, they're going to want to deport him. It's disgusting, but it shows the level of fear that they have for someone like Mamdani, Now, Stephen Miller, of course, reacted, yes, the human Nosferatu, by claiming that his win is a result of migration, the great replacement kind of crap. In fact, he said, NYC is the clearest warning yet of what happens to a society when it fails to control migration. Oh, so you actually get what? The chance for a person who is a democratic socialist who actually wants to help average working people get into a position of power. That's what happens when you have migrant. Well, sign me up. Sign me up. But here's the thing, though. Okay. Mamdani actually did very well among young, especially young, white voters. That's right. He actually received 36% of the Caucasian vote. Cuomo received about 25%. Now, where he crushed was among Asian voters. By the way, Asian voters in 2021 broke for Eric Adams. And so they switched from Adams to Mamdani. Now, that said, yes, he made a lot of inroads with black voters and Hispanic voters, but Cuomo did better with both of those groups. According to the New York Post, Mamdani swept the liberal bastions of Brooklyn and Fort Greene, which are predominantly white areas, but actually Mamdani did much better in areas where there is a lot of diversity, which shouldn't surprise us, okay? So that said, he had a pretty broad coalition of voters. White voters, of course, made up the second highest amount of Mamdani voters. So what's that whole thing about, this is what happens when you have unchecked migration? No, here's the thing. In New York City, areas are very diverse, right? Meaning that the white people there are not afraid of other people, of black people, of Latinos, of Asians, etc. Why? Because they are friends, they are neighbors, they are husbands, wives, family, all of that different stuff. Okay? See, and this is what white supremacists are afraid of. When you get to know people of different ethnic backgrounds, turns out you stop being afraid of them because there's no reason to be afraid of them. You find out that they're just people, just like you. I know. So, that said, of course, there was more racism from MAGA. Okay. For example, let me show you. Charlie Kirk, who invoked 9/11. 24 years ago, a group of Muslims killed 2,753 people on 9/11. Now, a Muslim socialist is on pace to run New York City. Oh my God. I mean, it just like the racist bullhorns are going off. Okay, this is not one of those, one of those things where it's like, oh no, it's low key. No, it is in your face, over the top racism and Islamophobia. I mean, it really is amazing. And then you have, speaking of that, Laura Loomer. There will be another 9/11 in NYC, and Zohran Mamdani will be to blame. Oh, okay, just right out there. 2020 was the summer of love. She said 2025 will be the summer of jihad. You'll say. Wow. Again, what do you expect from Laura Loomer? All right. So, and by the way, speaking of expectations, you should expect even more of that in the coming months. The meltdown here is, for one, absolutely glorious. All the masks are off. But also, it's grotesque and racist. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.